taken 13,000 steps.
Hey! Welcome to the Terra Sentia series, an actual play podcast using 5th edition D&D set in our jointly homebrewed world given magic and mystery by a sentient mycelium network. I'm Bill, and I will be your dungeon master, weaving a web of intrigue for our amazing players. Connor Crumley, playing Ferg, the human barbarian librarian.
It's been way too long, oh my god.
It has. Will Blackmore, playing Time, human diviner wizard.
What's up?
Fisher Newman, playing Experience Joy Within Sorrow, a dwarven life cleric.
I preemptively apologize.
And Ashleen Bradley, playing Kefkin Helder, the half-orc monk.
Yup.
So, yeah, we had to, I think, cancel the game last couple weeks ago. So I think all of us are a little like, where the fuck are we?
And
Oh no, I'm well aware that shit is.
Well, shit is. I would say it's a little post-fucked. We're still in the mix of it, but the Rock Queen has receded. You're still dealing with Rom. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second.
We're on the run.
We're still laying
We
there.
have a couple of
TPK.
we have a couple of really fun announcements. So, so the first announcement is if any of you have been watching our show for a time, you know that we used to have a player in the mix, and her name was Shanna. Shanna will be rejoining the group starting March 5th.
Woo!
And so I think everybody's really excited about that. It remains to be seen whether or not Shanna is actually going to be playing Farron. She's a little up in the air about it, and I know that she wants to talk to, me and anyway. But so then
I got some shit to play.
Yeah, actually, we're gonna get together tomorrow. I don't know if you knew that. We managed a breakfast date, so we're gonna have a little breakfast date. We're gonna talk about shit. But the second thing is that, and this is kind of, it's like two things in one. So I will not be DMing the series starting March 5th. Ashleen will be DMing the series.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so
Don't heckle me.
I'm obviously really excited.
That was up to yours.
I am going to step away from DMing, and I'm going to be playing.
Yeah.
And I am going to be playing Bogenschultz.
Sweet.
And who is
Bogenschultz survived.
easily
Assuming
my...
Bogenschultz survives.
Well, Bogenschultz is at 1 hit point right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
assuming
Hey,
Bogenschultz survives.
Bogenschultz survived a fucking finger of death and then recklessly endured after they went down
This
after
is
that.
true.
And now they're chilling.
A necrotic fingering.
Yeah.
Necrotic fingering. Oof. Yeah.
Rom's necrotic fingering.
the worst
77
kind of
was what Bill
fingering.
rolled on that shit, y'all.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
So yeah.
had to
So
38 hit
all
points.
three of those things are happening March 5th. And Ashleen and I have been, talking, and they're sort of well aware that they're going to take the story whether or not we're out of the Kashar or not. So, so there's really no we're not trying to get anywhere in that time frame. So don't feel rushed at all. And at the same time, we've been in the Kashar for a while, and I think that the story is most likely going to come to a close.
When we all die in the next 30 minutes.
Maybe.
I have 6 hit
pretty
points.
much.
It's
I
fine.
have 12.
I have 0.
I'm at full health, but that's just me personally.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've been coughing all day.
And I haven't been at
dying.
full health for months.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Rom is definitely not at full health.
No, Rom.
But nor is he awful.
Dibs,
to
by the
kill
way.
him.
Dibs.
Then go kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Because if I stand back up, Rom's getting something shoved.
I have Finger of Life.
Doesn't want.
I can spare my dying.
Okay. So
Finger us back to life.
let's kind of go around the table in no inherent order. What do people remember about what's going on right now? I know that's a hard ask because it's been a couple
It's
weeks.
a rough question.
So the Rock Queen glitter sport away. Berg went down while carrying Kath, and then Kath came back.
No, I got healed first, and then we were
Oh.
both up, and then you went down, and now I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I'm dragging you out.
Actually, you're also down.
I have 6 hit points.
Oh,
according to
does
this.
it say
Yeah.
that on the cap? So I was looking for that in the story, and I couldn't find.
I'm pretty sure that
Where the-
because I did go down again from Rom. That was right before Bogan Schultz got death
I was
fingered.
hauling you out.
And then you were like, "Don't heal them." But then the little like NPCs that we had with us was like, "I'm a doctor. I'm gonna heal people anyway because that's what I do." And you were like, "Stop healing Keth," because last episode that we had, I killed like 2 of our NPCs because I got mind controlled.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, because my whole goal was to have them stop healing you so we could all get out.
Mm-hmm.
You made an intimidate check or a persuasion check. I can't remember which one, but that failed, and they held to their sort of Hippocratic oath. And
did I even make a check? I don't
You did.
remember that.
Yeah, you did.
Someone did. Someone either rolled. I posed either persuasion or intimidate.
I probably. Yeah, it was definitely persuasion, which I have 0 of.
But Michaud died and Zeph died.
Yeah,
And
Michaud
you have
died,
Zeph's sword X'd on your back with your
Yeah.
stone
I
pencil.
still have all those
If you've
spells.
seen that,
Oh,
turn
shit.
any color of green. Let me know.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else
I do
anyone
like
remembers?
sword.
We dropped what looked like a bunch of damage on the Rock Queen in various forms, and seems like she was still rolling. I mean, she certainly like retreated, so that tells us a little something, maybe. But
Yeah. Well, and to be, I think we discussed this at the end of the last session. You dropped over 200 damage on her,
Yeah.
roughly. You know, not counting like
It's a beefy
damage
queen.
resistance and all that jazz.
Be cute.
But, yeah.
Man, we did like 25 points of damage, didn't we?
No, I saw how much
I think they mean
damage
like
we
how much
did.
actually landed, but
Yeah,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a significant amount.
definitely.
And I was kind of surprised that she was still going.
same days. But yeah, we decided to hightail it. And I remember we were like all sort of running at this point out of the arena. And that's kind of where we like
Yeah.
ended.
Running.
Although
According to
we
this, it's your
had,
turn.
I think we had a beat. Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I think we had a beat on where Rom was, didn't we? Or no? We just knew.
Yeah.
He's really
Ron
close
is
to us.
Is that figure right there on the
And I'm
board?
close behind him over this way.
Cool.
Because I ran around that way. Which is what we were doing
Don't
the math.
remember where I am.
We were all. I'm pretty sure we were all headed out
Yeah,
that
we were all
way.
feeding this way. Ooh,
we were all heading out
You
that
were
way.
all feeding that way, but
You were near
Ferg
me.
ended up getting dropped right about there.
I was next to Ferg.
I feel like
Where-
I
No,
was,
yeah,
I'm
over
pretty-
here.
I feel like it was closer to that.
Because the
there
Rock
a-
Queen
there
was
a
here, Bill, and we ran
confrontation
that way.
Happened
Yeah.
closer to here, and that's essentially like you in transit. You were so see this grate here. Pretend like that's not there.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Yeah,
I
that's
had-
floor.
Yeah. So
'Cause the
you
Rock
started to
Queen
make your
was
way this
on the
way,
ceiling
and then
there.
you got dropped. So
Yeah.
Ferg, I'm almost positive you're more towards this end of the dome, the habitat dome, than So, but that being said, like time, where are you?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I was.
Time
I
was very close to me.
Where are you?
On the
Like,
cowboy.
yeah, I remember that. I remember we were kind of like beelining that direction because there's like exit over here or something like that. I don't know if that's the exit, but there was something that we knew was an exit. I thought that we were all like feeding
Yeah,
towards.
I think I took a picture of the battle map.
We'll
That's what I
discuss that. We'll discuss all the visuals on each individual turn. Speaking of which,
What are my visuals, man?
we are starting with time and Junebug.
Let's go, Tor.
The last person that acted last session was Ferg making their death save and succeeding because you're blessed, by the way.
Yes. I'm not blessed. I have my boon thing up.
But it's the equivalent.
It's
of
the
blessed, right?
equivalent of blessed.
So my last question is: does anyone have any fungal-based exhaustion right now?
I have one.
You're exhaustion level 1.
A couple of us. Zeph had one, but he's dead.
Rip Zeph.
I mean,
I have one.
just so casual.
Well, look, it's been a month.
It's time has passed.
Yeah.
I have one as well.
You have one as well.
Yeah.
And time
not.
is none. Okay.
And you have 0 as well.
Oh, yeah. No, my
And one
strategy is to stay far away.
Checks.
It's just ability checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including death saves.
Ability check is not a death save.
Yeah,
Cool.
not a saving
Yeah.
throw, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. I swear I took photos.
Ooh, so that means level 3 exhaustion. You would actually get a disadvantage on death saves.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, you're just dead tired.
You're dead tired. Okay.
Terrifying. Noted.
Will, it is time's turn.
Cool. How far away from me is Rom?
Rom is about 40 feet away from you.
Cool.
And you can see that Rom is actually moving this way, Will. kind of towards the other far end of the dome where he is, and he's running kind of perpendicular to the wall, to the dome wall.
Okay. Parallel to it? As in...
Yeah, that's what I meant. Parallel. the other one. And so that being said, he is up against the dome wall, kind of running, like you said, parallel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else I want to tell you? What's the light situation?
Do we still have that pebble?
Still dim. The pebble's still around.
The pebble is over here.
I think you still have spiritual guardians.
I think that's what this little rock was the pebble, right?
No, we didn't have anything for the pebble.
But we did have light. Light was happening.
Yeah. No.
Didn't one of you say you picked up the rock as you went by?
Someone had shot light on an arrow
archers.
or a bolt or something that had stuck into the ceiling, and that was also like that was
right.
Yeah, because I do think that I picked up the pebble.
Yeah. They long.
I just remembered someone saying they picked it up.
Yeah.
So make sure you get all.
Still not easy to see.
All my jams up in here.
And to be clear, you're not looking at Rom's face, his sort of like half burnt face. You're looking at Michaud currently. He is morphed into Michaud's countenance.
Senior game asshole. Yeah, so time
Pour one out from Michaud.
Yeah. Time has kind of like spent some time dealing with this like weird soil fungal growth, like the agricultural pod, whatever we're in kind of thing, and thinks that she's gotten a bead on it a little bit better.
Where's Junebug right now?
She's been flying around because we were using her vision to kind of help look for Rom.
Oh, that's fascinating. Something that a communication that you get from Junebug is is Junebug in what, like Raven form or?
Yeah,
Hawk.
I think Hawk.
Hawk form. Yeah. So she kind of like telepathically squawks out, "The ceiling's moving."
We already remember that.
I get a sense of
right?
Well, that was what the Rock Queen was doing before.
Yeah.
I mean, like I cast a glance up.
It's, let's see. I will say that it's too high to like for your dark vision to actually see what's going on. If you wanted to actually see what's going on, I think that would be like a sort of, you'd have to like transition into June's senses. But I wanted.
Well, how about the light that is still stuck on the ceiling? Like,
it's not stuck on the ceiling. Remember, it fell to the ground. So, and it's right in this area.
Gotcha.
So there's really not a whole heck of a lot of light for those that don't have dark vision, right in the far area where most people are at right now.
Gotcha. So Time just yells out, "The ceiling's moving." Like, I mean, she feels like she needs to be doing something else besides like just looking for what that is right now. But part of it is hightailing it out of there. So she doesn't like that Rom is converging where we're all sort of like heading to, and wants to like try and take Rom out of the game. And so like she grabs a scoop of the floor and like kind of crushes it as she casts another like Maximilian's Grasp, and like the earthen hand comes up and tries to grab him. So strength save.
Strength save.
Yeah, boy.
Here we go. So total was a 3. I fail.
Yeah, you do. So you are restrained. First off.
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
Take off.
And well, that's not how that works. But you're also going to take 2d6 bludgeon damage.
Bludgeon his dick off.
I was looking like on 5 or 6 pages. 5 points of bludgeoning damage, but has the restrained feature, which is going to give you disadvantage on all the things.
all the things can't move. Right on. Okay.
And then I'm going to keep. I'm going to move my my movement. I thought we were running over this direction for a reason. Like we saw an exit. There was a thing. Do we not know?
It's the other biolock.
Yeah.
It's that.
It's more kind of right.
I thought it was over
area.
that way.
Yeah.
So I move my leg. So if that's 40, I'd say like that's 30-ish. I'm looking to move the rest of my movement kind of this way.
Okay.
Heading off that direction. And Dunzos.
Okay.
Shadows.
Yes.
He's restrained over here.
So the remaining shadows, you have Mania. Oh no, I'm sorry, she's dead. Lilith, she's the life steward that healed you. And then there's Lee, who Joy is familiar with.
Biblically,
a kind of a wavy auburn hair bandit named Alan.
Hello, Alan.
And Abad, Fatima, and Barak are 3 scouts that, if you remember, like the temple battle, they were firing from above. So they were the ones that all kind of survived. Anyway, so what would you imagine they would be doing?
Well, if the doctor chick just made a case to heal me, and she's right there, and she just healed me, she would probably heal Ferg. What you Connor?
Yes.
Well, you are Connor. But...
Absolutely.
No, she would definitely do
that. The good news is she absolutely does that. The bad news is that this is her last healing.
Yep.
That's okay.
So
she's cannon fodder now.
But she swore to Apollo, so she has to do it.
So she moves over to you, Ferg, and heals you for 5 points of damage.
Yay.
5 points of damage.
People are dying.
I mean, and then
now.
Time shouted that the guy was restrained, so hopefully the archers would shoot him. But I don't know. He looks like Michaud, so that's
They cannot see him from that far away, but they're going to start moving towards that to try to get into line of sight range. As a matter of fact, I will say that Lee runs over, suits up the arrow light, and begins to. So that's going to be her turn. She's going to basically retrieve the light to try to like help out with
like shoot it closer or whatever.
Well, yeah, probably. Okay, so long story short, most of the shadows start to move a little closer, with the exception of Lilith, who is healing Ferg. And you don't necessarily get up right now. Just that way.
Yeah.
So those are the shadows. Top of the round with Joy.
All right, Joy's gonna run closer.
You can't quite get up to Rom.
No.
But
Are
I
your
have
guardians
spiritual
still active?
guardians.
you do, yeah.
Where is that card? There it is. So I am within 15 feet.
I would say that you can get within 10 feet.
10 feet.
Maximum, yeah. Yeah, cool.
you have any way of hitting them with the spell?
What's your spiritual guardians look like? Refresh my memory.
I don't know. I wasn't the one who cast it, so I didn't come up with it.
I've always liked it as like the guardians of like your ancestral dwarves rolling out, like, but that's my own personal.
They're 4 owls.
And I'm just interrupting to say, what's going on, Evie?
Hey! Joining us every week.
You actually get a high five for that one.
Yeah, cool. So you're moving up. Your
Yes.
your spiritual guardians sort of kind of take Rom over and engulf him.
Yeah.
That damage won't happen on his turn though.
Canale kind of look like The Rock. Just like
Yes.
really muscly and bald and really hot.
Dwarf rocks.
But in like a creepy kind of way. Yeah,
Yes.
they're all dwarves, but they're tall for dwarves and super muscly.
I'm just gonna say yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
They all look like
why
Dwarf
would Bill
The
say
Rock.
no to that?
They all have different beards, but that's the only way you can
Everything's
tell.
better with the rock.
And different tattoos, obviously. Different spirit tattoos.
Right.
So yeah, that's canon now. Put it in the wiki.
So
Hey, you got Sacred Flame, right?
Yeah, but I full move to get over here, I think.
So you approach Rom.
Yeah, you still have a bonus action.
So you approach Rom, and as you're approaching him, your kind of like big, muscly, rocky spirits take him over.
Yeah.
But there is a moment where he has line of sight to you amidst the spirits, and he says, with Michaud's face, "I know you. Who are you?"
La la la.
Is that what you're doing?
Pretty much. At this point, he's tried to murder a lot of my friends. He's tried to murder a lot of my other group of friends. He's betrayed my homeboy.
Yeah.
I kind of hope the rock squishes this guy like a
Like a bug?
I was gonna say like the cheesecloth. That's what it's called. You just
We're just going for a
have it
rocky
all run
rocky
out the sides.
style.
Yeah.
All right.
Chris.
Got a little too enthused about that, Connor. Okay.
Connor's picturing revenge on all the cheese.
So what does it do?
It does.
Well, it's going to happen on Rom's turn.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So we'll get to
when
that
they start
when we
their
get to
turn
that.
in it.
But now you moved in. Are you doing anything else?
Did it take a double move to get there?
No,
Or did
it
not?
did not.
Okay.
That was your 25 feet of movement to get you within
Sweet.
10 feet.
All right.
Because you were moving towards him the last couple of rounds, actually.
Yeah.
So
Rom looks like it would be very difficult for him to dodge anything.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, and
Straight up
Flickman's touch. I mean, I knew it wasn't.
Fist,
I knew it was
like,
touch, but
holding
still.
him.
Yeah, i.e. the mechanic restrain, which is also
Oh!
disadvantage on dex saves.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm gonna see if this works. I'm gonna try and cast command. So he has to beat a wisdom saving throw of 14 at disadvantage
Why disadvantage?
Why disadvantage?
because he's bound, right?
No,
That
that
doesn't have to
doesn't
do with
affect
his
Only
brain.
was for dexterity
Yeah.
saves.
Oh, I don't bind people. That's
And
some
if
kinky ass
attacks.
shit.
You have to bind their mind for that to work.
That's
Okay,
what
so
I'm trying to do.
command.
Yep.
And what is your command? What are you commanding him to do?
Regret.
Okay.
Why not?
And
I just
yeah,
want
why
to see
not?
him cry.
You're in a fucked up mood.
So I rolled a 14. Does that make it?
It ties.
Then it makes
Makes
it.
it.
Yeah.
He's
Are
already-
you sure your DCs are up to snuff?
It says this was auto-generated by the computer, so
Since you
I
leveled
assume
to
so.
5 too.
What's
Yeah,
your,
I
Yeah,
remade the character sheet.
what's,
at
your,
level
what's your
5.
wisdom?
My wisdom is 16.
Plus
Yeah.
3.
So 3 and 3.
Yeah, cool.
Wait, 3 and 3?
Proficiency 3.
Okay, we'll talk about it a little later, but yes, that sounds
That
accurate.
would be- yes, right.
And
Yep.
he just seems like in his face, like he's perhaps incapable of regretting.
That's what I thought might be
Right.
the case.
But you can tell that all of your spirits are sort of converging on him and ready to pummel the shit out of him.
Little bit of the ultra
and
violence.
now
I
we-
have a
now we
bonus
go
action
to-
pull out my camcorder.
And now we go to Keth and Bogey.
Okay. Do the spirits count for sneak attack?
They
As-
don't. No.
Does the hand count for sneak attack?
Hand. What's the hand?
If I may, they're restrained, which gives you advantage on attacks, which counts as sneak attack.
Oh, there you
Okay.
go. That's the big one.
So Bogey's gonna shoot.
Just want to be really clear.
Yeah.
Bogey's gonna shoot from a distance. With
I
the
will
crossbow.
also say, though, that Bogey very much keeps their distance because of the fact that they're at 1 hit point.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They're not getting close. They're just
Yeah.
chilling. They're kind of near Ferg and Keth right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, I'm protecting my asset. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to kill your asset before you get to be it.
You know
Just
what?
kidding.
You're already DMing.
You gave me this control of
Calm
this
down.
character, Bill.
Yeah. Okay.
So okay, I'm gonna shoot with the crossbow,
Yes.
light crossbow. Are you hit with
That was
a
Bogey.
19?
I am.
Okay, and then so that's a D8 plus
A lot.
All these dice will take a while.
2d6 for the sneak attack, and then can you make a
Constitution
yeah?
for poison.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 12.
Hang on, I can find this. It's a 15, so you fail.
Okay.
So you take another 2d6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a d6.
It's about
Do you need another
time.
Hang on, sneak attack's 46. I need 2 more.
Yeah, I was gonna
40.
say that sounded light.
Reminds me of that
You can do this, Fisher.
Onion
The
article
square
or whatever it was, like,
Well,
you
I
know,
know,
trailer
this is
truck
what the text
carrying
was.
dice
Right, I did.
spills over on highway,
wasn't
dealing
the color I expected
100,000
it to be.
d6 damage.
Do you need the poison separate?
I do not.
You don't? Okay.
Not for a shapeshifter.
That's 10, 20, 25 points of damage.
Okay.
And then Bogey's gonna kind of cross over and follow in the direction that time is going.
So the arrow kind of sinks in between two of the fingers of the earthen grasp and just sinks somewhere in Rom's body.
Yeah.
And you can hear him like audibly like,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's not happy.
Not there.
No. Yeah, not there. Not the squishy parts.
And then Keth is gonna move up because I have 70 feet of movement. So I'm based off of everyone else's distance. I can make it.
I would agree.
And I am going to attack twice with my staff. Two-handed. Am I at advantage?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so 1 attack. 17 plus 6.
Yep.
definitely hit.
29.
Second attack. 11 plus 6.
11 plus 6, 17. That's also a hit.
Okay, and so that's 2d8, and they both get plus 3. Oh, no, I don't have that one active right now. Sorry, hang on. So that is
9 total.
6, right? No, but it's 2 hits, so plus 3 twice. So that's 8 for the first hit and 4 for the second hit, in case that matters.
8 for the first hit, 4 for the second hit.
Sorry, I thought you said it was 2d8 per attack.
Okay.
And
so you hit Rom twice, actually in the head, and there's just something that's empowering him, like holding him up. He is alive.
yeah, and then I'm gonna bonus action. I'm gonna like let go of my staff with one hand, and I kind of see that where like I can see that he's wavering, and I'm just gonna punch him straight in the face. Like I am so mad at him at this point.
Yeah. Pull out that hard. Through the face.
That is a 3 plus 6 is a 9.
That is sadly a miss. He sort of wiggles inside of the earthen grass.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my last
and
key
like
point.
and like ducks his
Spirit
head,
guardians.
and your fist kind of hits that
yeah.
sort of like that magical hand that's holding him. So you're spending a key point to hit him again.
Yeah, flurry of blows in this bitch.
Okay.
Blow him.
I'm gonna blow him. Oh god. 11, I'm guessing, does not hit.
It does not.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I really wanted to kill him so bad.
So does everybody remember that everybody starts off with an inspiration point?
Yes.
So if you wanted to use that.
On the very first punch, you just crack your knuckle into the stone.
He's gonna die. I'm good. I'll save it. This is the beginning of the
Remember this
session.
conversation.
I know.
Yeah.
If he doesn't die.
Editor, mark this down in this time code. And
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna move. Well, can he use his reaction on me if I move away from him now? Because he's restrained.
Sorry, one more time.
Can he use a reaction while restrained?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He can.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also at disadvantage for attacking. Assuming he's got because of restrained. Assuming that's what you're worried about. At least with.
I'll just chill right there.
I'm just excited for him to start his turn again.
My question to you, Will, is restraint doesn't say anything about spellcasting, right?
Nope. I mean, disadvantage on anything that would require a spell or an attack roll, but that's it.
Okay.
Or if there's a manual component.
No, it doesn't say anything about that.
Okay, so Rom casts a spell. And
He has to wisdom save first.
why?
Because spiritual guardians there's 4 giant.
Right. Well, did that happen beginning or end?
Very beginning.
Start
beginning.
of the round.
Oh no.
It's when you start your turn or move into that space for the first time.
Oh yeah, no, this is gonna be bad.
Roll is still half damage no matter
Yeah,
what.
no, you don't even have to roll damage.
Oh, it's okay. It was
bald-
6 anyways.
All the muscly rock-like spirits just tear him to shreds,
And
actually tear him like it's sort of a combination of like pop, and they tear him out of the earthen grasp.
It makes like a
Yeah,
Nice.
Rom is not even recognizable anymore.
what did it
just
look
hear-
like he was gonna try and cast?
Wall of fire,
Oh, suck it.
ring around him, out.
And you just hear Joy in the corner, like, standing there clenching his fist, like...
and Keth's just like sitting there like you deserve no less for the trouble you caused. Like it just happened right in front of me and I'm just like, you fucking deserve that.
Nice.
However,
Give me a phone.
Catch.
Heard it buzzing over there a lot.
What is happening?
Popular.
Slurpers.
Slurpers.
Damn slurpers.
Oh, that's right.
Slurpers.
That's what we were running quickly from,
Yeah.
theoretically.
okay, so
You don't got like a wall of fire, you know? Anything
Rom
like
did.
that?
so Rom is no more. We move on to Ferg.
Good.
Ferg, make what's your passive perception?
13.
Here's my little sheet. So it's not that you can see what's happening on the ceiling, but you can hear it. What it does sound like is it sounds like whatever's moving up there is moving very slowly. But it's just so big that it's causing a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Like a a very sort of sticky and a combination between sticky and tearing sound.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Thanks for that one.
I aim to please only you.
Ferg has been pretty focused on us just getting out for the last couple rounds.
Okay.
And so we're gonna do that. As I get to the door, can I sort of... Well, first we stand up.
Yeah.
Can I dimly see that first blob tar?
Yes, you can.
Is it within 60 feet of me?
It's like just barely.
Oh, how many rage rounds?
Doesn't matter. You were unconscious, so
I have to rage again.
Yeah.
Oh, that
it's circle breaths.
Problematic.
Is there a limit to how many times you can rage?
Yep.
Yeah.
And everything's long rest for barbarians.
Yeah.
It's a rage rest.
Angry nap. So relaxed.
What you got, Ferg?
All right, so we're gonna do something totally different. We are still going to... Oh no, because that's... Fuck.
So as you're as you're sort of
okay,
as you're balking, you can see the shadows getting closer to that side of the thing. A couple of them are sort of veering a little bit closer to the party because they see the blob tars kind of converge and sort of like slowly slurp their way closer to you. What are you doing?
Bonus action rage, move 20 feet.
Okay.
And we're going to hurl a javelin as a reckless attack against
This one?
the blue one.
This one?
That's closest to our exit.
Got it. So
I'm really trying to clear a path for everybody else.
That's okay. That's totally fine.
Are you hit with a 22?
You're damn right I am.
I'm glad I made so many javelins. That does not count for attack bonus. Oh, sad. Blobtar takes 4 points of damage from that javelin.
Okay. Blobtar's still up, but definitely took the brunt of that impact. When you get to there, after you throw, Bogey turns to you and says, "There's something going on with your sword." And that's the end of your turn.
Cool.
Time and Junebug.
All right, so all of those clusterfuckery is bad guys rolling in on us?
Yes, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you still technically have your Earthen Grasp in effect, right?
Oh, yeah, nothing technical about it. It's very accurate. It's up to a minute, and I can like move it, regrab, do other things within range, which it's pretty close range, but it's a pretty cool spell. But that being said, there's a lot of them. But these are the slow blobbies or they're fast blobbies?
Slow.
Okay, thank God. They seem like they moved over here pretty fast, but...
Double move.
Oh, well, that would do it.
Well, they were just kind of massed behind that wall.
Which one did you hit?
I hit the blue amoeba.
Cool.
This one right here.
Gotcha. Are you next to that one?
No, I'm next to Bogey.
Oh, okay. You threw javelins at it. Gotcha.
I couldn't do my thing that I wanted to do because I went unconscious.
Yeah, no, valid. So... All right. Well, I mean, at the very least, I would like to be moving closer to the exit, but there's a lot of those guys. I feel like I might need to wait for some homies
and
to
again, the
catch.
exit's like right about here.
Yeah, but I got a lot of homies. We might need to group up first to deal with this problem, because it looks like people are going to be cut off here real shortly.
Ferg yells at you, what about that earthen wall thing you did before?
I'm out. the extent of my high my high magics currently. I've got pews. That's about it.
You just see a cloud of random symbols and anger.
That's fair. So Time actually sort of heads this way to kind of get closer to her hand, / within the spiritual guardians, and kind of think like that's a good spot to hole up for a moment, and kind of let us build a defense to at least do something together as a group. And then she's going to use Junebug senses to see what's going on in the ceiling and convey that to the group.
Got it. So first, I'd like Junebug to roll a perception check.
Okie doke. Is it a sight-based perception check?
Definitely.
Cool.
You're looking with your.
It's kind of all of her senses.
Yeah.
But mostly sight.
Yeah. Check. Hockety hock.
Do you think we could hold them off for an hour while I cast Glyph of Warding?
No.
22.
Okay.
Sure?
So Junebug sees essentially this what was the Rock Queen's mass, and sees it kind of slowly, almost like crawling its way, or like slithering its way back to kind of the. She's not sure if it's going to the center of the room or if it's going towards you all, but it's basically going definitely more towards the center of the room than not. But there's something else that June gets.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is somehow alive and not. It just gives Junebug a really, really bad feeling. Like maybe this thing is more of a threat than it led you all to believe.
That's terrifying.
Cool.
And I'd like either... So you're seeing this through Junebug's eyes? Okay, so in time, I'd like you to make an Arcana check.
Wicked.
Actually, I take it back. Nature check.
Alright. I would like to use my inspiration on it.
Okay.
This feels important to me.
And for those watching us for the first time, the way we do inspiration is when someone spends it, or someone rolls, they can spend inspiration and then roll it again, and then you get a plus 10 onto your roll if you roll 10 or under. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty much guaranteed for you to roll really good, if not amazing.
Yeah, your minimum is going to be 11, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Borrowing that from a Fate System piece. 16 on the die, so 21 total.
So
I know some nature.
Morel begins to have a deep, long conversation with you that seems to take about an hour. And you land on the idea that this is not just some kind of a fungal vegetative mass. It's some kind of a node of power that's connected directly to the Rock Queen.
Okay. And where is it again?
It's, see that big green thing?
Oh, is that thing? Okay, cool. And it's heading center room-ish. Slowly. Ish.
Like, Junebug can't tell if it's actually going straight to the center of the room or if it's heading a little bit towards you all.
Mm-hmm.
It's unclear. That's unclear.
Gotcha.
Because it's moving so slow that Junebug can't, can't see a trajectory.
Gotcha. Let's say, actually, I move from where I was over here. I'm going to do a little bit more movement this way.
Uh-huh.
I'll do straight back to kind of get closer to it. Time conveys, we obviously have to take care of those guys. Saddle up. And she's, pointing into the darkness at the ceiling, we have to kill that thing that's on the ceiling. It is the Rock Queen's power.
All the archers from the shadows look up.
And be like, I'll show you the way. And I can't yet. But
yeah, well, and they begin to kind of draw arrows and sort of anchor up and start to aim that up top.
I tell them to fire with me. I'll guide you.
Right.
And kind of wait for it. Right.
Okay. Are you done?
I don't think there's anything else I had, right? Took my action to look through the eyes, I imagine.
Correct. So so Lee gets a double move, and she gets over basically to where Bogey is. Bogey and Ferg, thereabouts.
Cool.
The rest of the shadows are moving their normal movement, but kind of towards Lilith, and Barak the dwarf is like, light my arrow on fire, and she's like, it's not fire, it's just light. Whatever, just do it. And so they begin to point their arrows up, but Lilith casts light on his arrow once again, and then Lee's arrow sadly goes out because there can only be one light lit at one time.
It's fine.
And then Barak fires first. So Barak is going to fire up at the mass at a disadvantage, but actually still hit it. And you hear something pop.
Gross.
And then 2 other arrows fire.
Is it at disadvantage now that the light arrow is up at it?
You mean it's not at a disadvantage?
Yeah, not at a disadvantage.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. I rolled 2 and it was 2 separate.
Cool.
And then 2 other arrows hit it, and you hear kind of a pop tear, and then also another kind of a gross pop that is followed by some kind of a leaking liquid.
Drip.
Don't let that shit fall on you.
Yeah.
No problem.
That's all the shadows do this turn. Back up to Joy for top of the round.
Oh, Joy.
Joy has been thinking that the Kashar, it's had a good long run. He's kind of okay with the Kashar forest dying. At this point, he's like, let's go home. Well, he's not gonna say this out loud. He's just thinking this.
Internal voice.
Yeah, he's like, being a cultist wasn't too bad.
So you're having regrets now. This is hilarious.
Self-command.
Yeah, a little bit.
Stop
yeah,
crying.
I'll cast guiding bolt toward the arrow.
Well, we see it now. It's stuck up there. So
yeah, but this way, whoever attacks next gets advantage.
Nice.
Okay.
Which would be Bogey.
Good thing.
Yeah.
Fire away.
11.
11 actually hits it. Roll damage.
Thank God.
Yeah, you do. 4d6, right?
I wasn't even thinking I would do damage. I didn't bother finding my... Where did my D6? Do you have my D6 go?
Yeah, you can take any of those.
I'll just take 4 of them.
You can take any of your dice. I give you permission.
Yes.
Hey, 10 damage.
Okay. Suddenly there is a very, very loud... There's no way to describe it. It's like a cyst rupturing, but at the size and magnitude of that large mass that the Rock Queen eventually ripped herself away from, and it just bursts, and you hear a bunch of liquid just rain down in that area. And luckily, no one's underneath that, because I guarantee you bad shit would happen. But you do hear a modicum of sizzling, and then the entirety of like everywhere around you, like the ground that you're walking on, essentially just shudders and shakes. There's like a vibration akin to an earthquake, but it's I don't know, it's almost has this spiritual component rather than like a physical component, and every single one of the blob tars just go and just explode.
Yeah.
We beat the Rock Queen?
No.
I'm just going to say that every single one of the blob tars explode.
Oh, God.
We've beat this moment.
Actually, I'm very fond of your assumptions. I'm very fond of them.
All right.
I'm just wishful thinking.
And we are out of initiative. And everybody is just kind of like standing around, very kind of still, wondering if like anything's going to pop out here and there, but nothing's going on.
Nice.
That was a waste of a rage.
Rage party.
Rage about it. I'll just keep slapping you every
You wanna rage?
6 seconds.
All right.
Ferg really, really grumpily growls at you. How many fucking potions do we have left? Because this shit hurts.
And Ferg, you're as you're asking that, you're also noticing that like your clothes are kind of like sticking onto something.
Yeah, we're gonna investigate the sword, but I want to feel better first.
Right.
Wait,
I'm
so
just saying, just some of your clothes are kind of like sticking on something.
They're at 5.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to heal you with Healing Word as a 2nd level spell. Wait, where are you? Yes, you're over there.
Do you have just regular heal or anything?
Cure wounds.
Yeah. I have Cure Wounds, but you're right next to me, so I can actually touch.
But we're out of initiative, so you can walk up to anybody and just do your thing.
Yeah, but I came up with this plan before we were out of initiative.
Change.
Do your plan. You're fine.
Well, I also only have one 1st level spell left, so I have to cast one of them as a 2nd level spell.
Well, that's fine. I think what Will's point is that one does D4 plus your Wisdom modifier, and one does D8 plus your Wisdom modifier. So,
but if I cast Healing Word at 2nd level, it's D8.
no, it's not. It's 2D4.
Sorry, 2D4.
Yeah.
So that's
Or Cure Wounds at 2nd level, which is 2d8.
Yeah.
So,
2D8.
I bet your math.
what we're saying is we're not
guys
seeing
are
your logic,
tanks.
but you do whatever you want to do.
Wait, why are you not saying the logic? It totally makes sense.
Well, Cure Wounds is more effective for healing people, is all that they're trying to say.
Yeah.
Even at 1st or 2nd level. That's it.
Yeah, but I want equality. Well, you guys
You
both
gotta
have
cast all your
You
spells.
guys both have.
But you can cast it twice, once at 1st level and once at 2nd level. There's no reason you can't
about-
cast Cure Wounds twice.
Equity
True.
instead of
Forgot about
equality.
that.
Everybody needs
You're right.
different treatment based upon.
Well, except they both have the same hit
need some
points
D8s?
within one. Yes, I do. Okay, I'll do that.
Total.
All right. Who wants healing first?
Hit them with the stronger one.
All right, get your ass over here. Well, we can meet in the middle. It's like 5 feet apart.
Yeah, no, you can come to me.
I'm like
Limping
bleeding
through.
out.
Okay,
Like
but
Yeah.
then it's only going to be at 1st level. No,
Bogey says,
I'm kidding, of course.
Excuse me.
we should rest.
yeah, we should rest.
That's
Yeah,
a
no
really
shit,
good
Bogey.
idea. We gotta find somewhere safer than here. What's my sword doing, by the way? Because this feels real weird.
Is it warm?
It's sort of growing extra long thorns.
Shit. I pull it out and look at it.
I think so. Yeah.
It's
14.
actually a little uncomfortable to hold it now because the hilt has grown little
I think you get
almost
double your
divots.
bonus.
Or
Yeah, it's spellcastability modifier. versus
that,
+6.
that could be sharp if they kept growing.
And then
But
healed bonus
realistically,
for your other
it's just like
Oh.
uncomfortable to hold the handle.
So
one. I
like
have 1 hit point.
Blackthorn, where you've taken off the thorns, but it's still like bumpy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Can you heal?
and it began to grow thorns. But the interesting part is that you take it off, and it looked like it was sort of like curving towards you, like curving kind of almost around you. And it's pretty subtle, but yeah, it's
Is it bonding
Can
to
I
you?
do a nature check to see if this would grow into armor around me?
Can I do a history check to see if I know anything about the sword?
Can I finish healing you guys?
so so that's a good point. So Fisher, why don't you finish healing?
You now have
And then
14 more
we'll
hit
get
points.
to that in a second.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bogenschultz now has 13.
More hit points?
Yes, 13 more hit points. And you have... 8 more hit points.
Thank you,
And I'm out of spells.
buddy.
I have my club.
The vibration that that happened when that sort of like node popped, it's now kind of it's now kind of transformed into something a little bit more palpable, and it feels like if this entire complex had a heartbeat, the heartbeat is just a little too caffeinated. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like the
Yes, it does.
entire complex. That
Yeah,
way?
like I don't know if you all have this. Sometimes when I lay on a specific ear, I can feel my heartbeat,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, so it kind of feels like that, except through the ground.
Gross.
So time to go.
Certainly.
So yeah. So did you get all your healing done?
Yep.
Okay.
And
So
I can only
first
use
and
cantrips.
foremost, you wanted to do something specific. You wanted to roll a what?
Either nature or arcana to see if this thing is going to
I will take either of them.
grow
actually.
around me
Yeah.
and for protection,
Um,
or if it's trying to hurt me.
Yeah, I will take either of them. Different DCs, but I'll take either of them.
Let's do Arcana. 19.
Interesting. Well, first and foremost, this is a magical weapon.
Yeah.
So the thing that you get about it is that you're not going to fully understand it unless you attune to it.
Yep.
But the thing that comes to mind, like you've read certain books and treaties on ancient Fey weapons, some of which were given to the orcs as gifts for whatever reason in different parts of the world. You're not recalling this with any sort of like pinpoint accuracy, like it's a little vague. But
something I ran across.
What's coming to you is that there's something about this weapon in some of the lore that would potentially indicate that if you died with this weapon on your person, that it would change you somehow. Perhaps transform you into something very different than what you are now.
Is that what the Tanorak was?
I don't know, but I'm deaf interested and would like to take a rest so we can attune to it.
Can I roll a history check on it?
Yes, that one in particular is going to be a pretty high DC, so good luck.
Can I do it at advantage?
Why?
Because Ket's original training until he killed his best friend was as a warrior. And I feel like he would know, like...
I'm going to say... I'm going to say yes.
Yay. Also because I'm helping.
I'll be a yes.
You're helping me remember stuff from a place you didn't grow up in?
I'm a well-traveled individual.
Yeah. I think I would be a little bit more help.
I got a 13.
You do not recall any specific history about this kind of a weapon.
Just kind of whose it was and like that was really badass.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's a cool one.
Yeah.
Should we do a lick test?
You were not licking my sword.
Don't lick the sword.
Try and stop me! Right.
Well, it'll cut you and be gross.
Keth is walking to the exit.
I haven't cleaned it off yet.
You turn to your left and Joy's like this.
Full on just like, so you don't want me like this.
No, let's get the fuck out of here and find somewhere to relax.
So time goes like, I would like to, grab a little sample of the goo in one of my vials to, bring back to that orc alchemist I've been working with. Be like, hey, what's going on here? Is this thing going to come back?
And the moment you start to head over there to grab a sample, Keth, you go down to your knees. That heartbeat starts to kind of really permeate your physiology, and it gets you a little woozy, and you kind of faint. You go down to a couple knees, and
all of your knees.
All of your knees.
How many knees do I have?
And
how many do you need?
And so, and you start to kind of white out a little bit. Things get really blurry and like kind of fuzz out like a TV. And you can see this. You can see kind of like inside of there a vision of like a horde of all sorts of creatures, but they all sort of feel and are reminiscent of the Blobtars, and they're moving towards an area that's heavily forested, but this area kind of drops off almost like a gorge, except it's not necessarily like a massive, crevasse like kind of like the Columbia Gorge sort of is. It's definitely more along the lines of a massive crater that sort of like spirals down, and you just see that the horde that's coming to the edge finally just gets to the edge and just throws themselves into the edge, sort of spilling into this spiral-like gorge, as though it were like a waterfall of flesh.
That's
and that's when you come out, and then at that point, like time, you would have either kind of ignored that and gathered a sample, or stopped and been like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Ferg would definitely pick Keth up.
Like, time sees a little pass and just continues scooping up. Like, they're taken care of. I love you. It's fine.
Right.
But science.
Yeah.
I basically just tell everyone what I saw. But Bill, I have a question for you. Do I recognize that gorge? Is it in the Kashar? Like, I feel like Keth knows the Kashar. Like...
Yeah, you know that. You know the Kashar. And you've never seen that before.
Ever?
Your knowledge.
But did I feel like it was in the Kashar? Like, when... I don't know.
Anything you'd
Did
recognize.
it feel like it was the Kashar when I was, like, what I was seeing?
You did get that feeling.
Okay. I'm basically going to tell everybody what I saw then and be like, I'm pretty sure this is happening.
Joy
Like,
leans.
real time happening. Like, I don't know why I'm seeing this, but I think we need to get there.
Do I remember reading anything about this spirally gorge?
Well, you remember all of the weird spiral disc nonsense that was given to you by who's the...
A lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. But
and then when we all did our out of body things.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
And the Rock Queen even said something about it last week.
Would I have come across a specific possible location where I could lead us in the Kashar? In all of the librarying that I did.
Make a history check or a nature check. Actually, no, history. Specifically history.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about this with me? Like, maybe I can help you.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
I can help.
I always chat with you about these things because.
Well, what I'm imagining is if you're pretty vocal about it, then everybody's kind of trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and as you're talking about this, I also want to tell you guys that when the Rock Queen was taking over my mind, she was speaking to me about the spiral too.
Yeah.
And because now this is the first time I had time to talk to you guys about this, and she was telling me, I'm so glad you chose me over the spiral. I know you'd much rather be with the Fae. We are going to the heart now, but don't worry. You're with me now. You're fine. That's what she was telling me when she had my mind.
Okay. So advantage?
I thought this was a spiral.
Yeah, advantage.
I mean, we went down those stairs. And
those stairs
20.
spiral.
Nice.
I'll get back to you on that. I'm gonna say that you keep thinking about it. You all keep talking about it as you're making your way out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Time, I would like to ask you to make a just say an acrobatics check when you're gathering the goop.
Okay. Can I have an advantage because I'm presuming that it's really terrible and I'm trying to be extra safe at it? Like, not touch it. My goal, really is we've been splashed by similar shit before. I'm going into this the scientist.
Wait,
and it's fuck
I imagine
that.
that's what the role
How
is
close
for.
are you?
Let's say yes.
I'm saying I'm using gust and other things that kind of cordon off pieces and move things back and kind of adjust it around.
Yeah, that makes
Are
sense.
you talking about trying to be careful without and not touch it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna bark skin you.
Cool. I don't know
With
if
two
that'll
of
help me be
Well,
more
according to
acrobatic,
Bill,
but-
I could punch them if I bark skin myself. So
So it might help protect
It
me
might
from...
help protect
Okay,
you
bark,
from.
bark skin just up to here.
Well put.
That was my logic for that, and I still have that active, so I might as well.
That is a 9.
So, unfortunately, some kind of dribbles on the very tip of your finger, but nothing happens.
Cool.
Bark skin.
Bark skin.
Is your beard bark skin?
Ew, it's not skin.
It's moss.
So, Ashley, nice work.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
you do not want to touch this bad
Nice
floor
work.
ceiling goop. No.
I did
Wait,
not.
you mean you think it's dangerous?
It's what?
No.
It came out of the giant
It's
ceiling
looking real
pimple?
gross.
Joy walks over no, this is fine.
So we want to get out of here, but B, I'm kind of curious to explore a little bit around. I mean, because that airlock area seemed intriguing, and the power just need to be turned back on. But
I don't think we're gonna get it back on right
Do we
now.
feel turned
I
on?
think we could probably, just guessing, since we couldn't turn it on over here, maybe we can turn it on the other side.
I want to do that. I want to
Any of
head
us
that
have
way.
Yeah.
repairs
At the very least,
still?
get an hour rest in there to kind of if we feel like we could be here for it. I don't know. But,
Yeah.
Okay, so you head to the other area.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause I want to power up. I'm presuming bad things won't happen.
I really want to take a long rest, but I also want to attune to the sword.
Yeah, well, short first and then long.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get to, you kind of have to round a corner as the door is kind of built into another sort of divot that's like right here. So you have to kind of like go this way, as like a hook fashion, and you are facing an area.
Do it right, at least.
You're facing an area that looks like just like a straight up wall. Like you were following the trajectory of Rom, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's heading that direction. So you hook around there, and interesting thing. So it just looks like a wall. Like there's no door whatsoever. But there's this weird bioluminescence that's like all over the walls that is sort of like lighting the area a little bit along. It actually keeps going along the wall. But then there's this little tiny sliver of light that you see, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, and you push on the wall, and the wall just swivels open as if it was a door. And that's when you realize your kind of mental acuity kind of works it out time, as does all of yours in time. But basically, like the doorway is an illusion. Like this is actually a door. It feels like a door. It feels like wood, but it looks like solid rock. So you push it open, and you are led down a hallway that is really only about 15 feet long. And this looks almost identical to the biolock area on the other side.
Did anybody loot Rom's body, by the way?
And I would like, I would like you to roll a d10, please.
Oh, okay. 10.
Okay, so the moment you step into the area, you hear kind of a popping sound and a sizzling sound.
Great.
And then basically like a jolt of electricity just goes and just goes right straight through you.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty fine.
And
wearing rubber shoes.
Well, your woods.
Yeah, true. I am bark skins. It's insulating.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't do much for that. And you take 6 points of damage, lightning damage, and you realize that this room may be like weirdly malfunctioning. There is another door on the other side, but the lightning arcs are still happening, popping, zzz, zzz, that kind of thing. What do you do?
I'm gonna step back out of the room.
Okay.
That seems
lame.
While Time's doing that, I'm gonna go loot Rom.
I forgot about it.
Okay.
We haven't gone very far.
We haven't gone very.
We're analyzing the room.
So you go around the corner. Yeah. So
what's he got on him? Give me the goods.
He's got a bandolier that's full of potions.
Ooh.
As a matter of fact.
I'm gonna just strap that on my chest.
Yeah.
Does he have a potion of not electricity-ifying?
Well, that remains to be seen. That would require some checks, but basically, I'm
gonna bring him over to Time to check him out.
That's the only real gear that he has that you can. He's got a few. No, actually, he doesn't have any coin on him. That wouldn't even make any sense. Yeah, it's just that bandolier. Yeah. Everything else is really just like he's got light armor on, leather.
Ooh. Does he have any weapons on him?
He doesn't. Not
at all.
0.
Okay. What about any of our fallen companions? I'm just gonna straight up tell you this right now. You should take Michaud's club. Because your stupid branch is not doing you any favors.
Fine, I'll take Michaud's
and Michaud's shield that is not going to be
encumbered.
Pour one
out for dead homies.
I forgot we had
take Michaud's weapons.
So, Time. You kind of waited out, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 rounds later, things seem to subside. The popping gets a lot less frequent. And then it just straight up, isn't popping anymore.
Okay. So, did it start when I first entered?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm going to try and, step my foot in and kind of, touch beyond the doorway again, kind of see like if it like stay behind it, but kind of like put my foot in, step on the ground, and see if like it triggers things again.
It doesn't trigger it at all.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, you're now realizing that the lighting in this room, and there is lighting that's like all around the square version of the square sort of shape of the room, is way low.
Okay, so lower than it was before.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like kind of used some juice. I kind of look around to see if there's any of that like pattern of, you know, like teleporting fungus kind of bits on the wall like that was used before, right, to kind of get around. You know what I'm talking about, where like it dissolved you atomically and bounced from place to place?
Good question. You don't see anything of the sort.
Okay. Do I remember seeing anything like that on the way in or anything along those lines? Kind of just like...
Also, no.
Okay, so as far as I know, there's just that patch that we had used before.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And so I'm taking back my statement about the potion bandolier. It's more of a kind of a specific type of like dried mushroom bandolier.
Okay, it's still a bandolier though, right?
It is a bandolier, and instead of holding like potion vials, it actually holds. They're like mini little pouches that have specific fungi inside of each. Of the
so cool.
Pouches.
I'm gonna fill it with spices.
A little shroom snuff.
Ferg would also like to
put
remind
one
everybody, because we got distracted, but
we were running away.
yeah, we have some obsidian vials that have some awesome potions in there.
Which is what?
I think we used a couple of the greater heal and the superior heal, but we still have a potion of flying, a potion of kill giant strength.
I've been keeping track of what we've used.
A potion of diminution and one of invulnerability.
Oh, that would have been handy.
We have one cure wounds left, 2 greater, and 1 superior left, but we've used all the other healing potions.
That may have been my bad.
I poured one down your throat. I gave one to Time at one point.
I gave one away.
Were those from the potions that we traded for, or those from the...
Oh, no, that's from that little store cache that we got from the Ironbacks.
So we haven't used any of the obsidian vials, except for the one cure wounds that was in there. Ferg got a little distracted because we were, running around.
Yeah, you got stuff that happens.
Yeah. And they're also really tiny.
Well, it's like reaching into a hoodie you haven't worn in a while and finding money in there. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This would have been
Come
great.
get me if I get shocked.
Are you progressing?
Yeah. I would like to, if assuming other people are there now with me.
I'll go with you.
You've come back.
I have been there with you.
Cool. I'm gonna move into the room tentatively to see if things kind of like trigger once my full body has crossed it. If it doesn't, I'm gonna head to the door on the other side.
You think that it's stopped triggering.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see that it stopped triggering. You also notice that, you know how there was a kind of a glass barrier that led to another room in the other biolock? Well, the same thing exists here, and you saw a lot of sparks happening from within that room.
Okay.
Not now, but before.
Gotcha. So it was like the mechanism tried to trigger is what it seems like, and maybe it's no longer working. I wanna put up like the same kind of like water kind of like up against the glass, with my like shape water ability to kind of like look through and see like what looks like it's happening back there, if there's any lights still on.
No, there's no lights still on. Just the dim lights in this room.
Can we just smash through the glass?
You can try. Would you like to?
You got a club now.
I have a better club now. Well, is it better or is it just a normal club?
It's a normal club.
It's not much better than what I had.
I also have an extra quarterstaff if you want that.
It just looks better.
What about Shillelagh? I don't know if you have that as
well. I don't have any spells right now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the other door on the other side of the room.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over to that door and try and go through it and check what's happening.
Yeah, so you head over to that door, and it actually opens really easily.
Cool.
And it leads into about a 10-foot wide hallway that goes about 30 feet and then hooks to the right. And then immediately hooks again to the left. But before that hook happens, there is a double doorway on the wall as you get to the end of the hall before the hook.
Okay. I mean, I kind of check these spots
We should go through the doorway. Why not?
Unless anybody has any arguments.
Before we move,
we're inside the citadel.
I'm going to use an action to cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
Right. Good call.
Yeah, we all seem prepped for a fight.
So just stay within 30 feet of me and we're fine.
A, exploring. B, if we can find a room that looks like it's like reasonably not in the middle of all of that, right? Then we can take an hour and then do some more exploring. I think would be a good idea.
Okay.
Let's head to the doors.
Okay, you get to the door and you attempt to open it and it's locked.
Okay.
It's either locked or stuck, but you're getting the sense that it's locked.
Can I try and unlock it?
Do we have any rogues in the rest of our
that's a
NPC
fascinating
party?
question. So the answer is
Kelly's a thief.
you're not sure, but you think no. Because there's not a lock mechanism on here. There's just this weird like bioluminescent panel.
Can I put
touch the panel?
Dwarf panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put your hand on it.
I have weird dwarf fingerprints.
Nothing happens.
I put my hand on it.
Nothing happens.
All dwarves are actually half loops. Fun
Is
fact.
anybody a full orc? No.
Berg puts their hand on it.
Nothing happens.
Everybody just like wants to
hand
touch it.
Nothing happens.
Well, we all put our hand on
someone
it at the same
lick
time, like friends.
Wait, can I put my?
Can I take a knife and try and pop the panel out, see if we can short it?
Careful.
Yeah, you can. So let's. Okay, so this is interesting. So I want to be clear, just on the level of like storytelling. So when you said I want to open it, I kind of said no, but you dug a little deeper, and so now what I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you to roll a. That roll be open lock.
Yeah. So which is basically just a dex check.
Basically.
Unless you have any like specific training in something like that.
I don't, unfortunately.
No, sleight of hand is arguably.
So wait, before you roll,
that's security.
This so here's the thing. You don't need to roll in order to pop that off. That's more like you're just like working this out, and you pull this weird kind of like wood paneled mechanism off, and there is a mess of mycelial networks in there.
Wiring.
Is it a dwarven construction?
That's a great question.
Because I might be able to help.
You don't think so. Dwarves don't necessarily. It's like dwarves don't construct this. Their magics do. That makes sense?
Yes.
It's their communion with the mycelium that allows them to do that. But you're looking in there, and maybe some of this is like the networks potentially are familiar to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're both looking in that right now, kind of staring in there.
I'm gonna poke.
So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make a. It's basically going to so instead of a dex check, or wait, isn't there a skill?
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna make a sleight of hand check, but it's gonna be intelligence based instead of dex based.
Oh, thank God.
Which is great. And hold on, before you do that, I wanna kind of like commune with my dagger.
Yeah.
And ask it if it has any knowledge of how to open these doors, because it's been around for a long time. It's owned by dwarves and things, and
it says
stab.
Keep forgetting it's intelligent.
Oh yeah.
Will you need the power stone?
What is that?
It's a specific type of stone that has rested within a certain bed of fungi for 101 years, and then it is then linked to a specific. And he starts to go into the sort of minutia of how to create one of these locks, but apparently it takes a long time.
Yeah,
is there a way to look for
I was
it?
like, so do you have an idea of where we would find one of these stones around here? If there's one like that's been...
I could not tell you.
Hey, if I can rest for a minute, I can just zap into the other side of the room if you guys want to know what's in there that bad.
Wait,
well, let's try and pick a lock. I was just going to see if I could get some information to help out with this, but then yes.
Like if we can't get in there from picking it.
I will say that you know enough about the construction of this that you can aid Ferg if you'd like.
Fuck
yeah, I'm gonna aid.
Sweet.
I'm gonna aid the shit out of Ferg.
Okay. You aid that barbarian.
Yeah. Ferg says a little thank you to Odin, and is also like, fair and Lycanstep, I hope you taught me well. And I rolled a 23.
A 20.
Still good.
So the way that you do it is that you take either. Well, what do you use to reach in there?
Which one of us has smaller fingers?
I mean, it would be a combo of fingers and dagger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you do is you take a network, and I mean, mycelial networks are really thin, right? So, but it's interesting how separate each one of these are, and it's kind of almost like playing Operation a little bit. Like you're really trying to get in there. You get in there. You know, however, from your knowledge, which ones that you can touch and which ones you can't. There's different colors and everything like that. You reach in there and you basically just pinch an area together, connecting a certain amount of them, and then suddenly the door just very alarmingly quickly opens.
It scares the shit out of Joy.
Sweet. Berg is like, yeah, I can do this.
Time is just
high five.
Oh yeah.
The bump of fists.
Let's just whack these cameras.
And so inside,
Berg is like, I knew all of that reading would help me out.
I think I read a book on this.
But there was
this particular thing.
There was one time that Joy was like, wait.
They've read the book on everything.
So inside,
we literally spend all of our free time in libraries. So
inside this room, you see. So the room itself is about 20 by about 45. Long ways. So you're entering in kind of as the almost the shorter end of the room. And in the middle of the room, so on the far end of the room, you see a bunch of control panels that are made out of a very, very fine wood, fine lacquered wood of a sort. And you can tell that a lot of the control panels literally has like a web connected to it, but not a spider web.
Mm-hmm.
Masses of fungal growth that are kind of like dark and a little, I don't know, like little, they're fuzzy. And but then in the middle of the room there is this there's this round table, and the round table has these weird for the first time, you've seen metal edges, like a metal edge around the table.
What kind of metal?
It's
like brass or steel?
No, some kind of steel. Some kind of steel.
Okay.
You're not sure what kind. And there's this weird, like, I don't know, bumpy floor to the table, like right underneath the metal lip. And occasionally, the table around that metal ridge will just kind of light up in a sort of chaotic pattern.
I want to investigate the table.
Well, I mean,
you're with you.
I am explaining everything that you see about the table.
Can we like touch stuff on it, like make it light up more?
You can. The minute you touch the table, it actually stops lighting up. And then the minute you take your finger off, it starts doing that kind of chaotic light show.
Are there any buttons?
Not here. Maybe on the control panel across the way.
Does it have 4 legs, a central leg, or is it solid?
It had... Good question. I'm going to say that it's solid.
Damn. I want it to crawl underneath it.
Try a little bit. I'm definitely going to investigate those panels.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go investigate the panels. I'll stay here and be like, that did something, that did nothing.
I'm gonna go press buttons with time.
Is there, besides the fungal web that's growing around the panels and connecting those, are there any like freestanding mushrooms in the room?
No.
Okay.
Does the room feel different than everywhere else we've been?
Well, you know what's weird is it feels in a way untainted. There's definitely a thick layer of dust around the room.
Mm-hmm. But since there's metal there, I'm gonna start like paying attention to like how the room sounds, like, but not sound wise, just like, I don't know, magical
resonance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 'cause I don't know if
All right,
it'll be
hit me.
different or.
Well, interestingly enough,
I was trying so hard to not say vibe.
So interestingly enough, when you tune into that, the vibe is that I could not. No, the when you tune into that, you feel that there is a magical resonance, but it's somehow dampened.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have to find the power
Dampened
power
in
station and
comparison.
clean it up.
Sorry. Okay. So dampened in comparison to the rest of the structure /
You have
forest.
nothing to compare it to.
Okay, so it's a new.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So time, you're going up to the panel, and I Keth, you also were.
Yeah, I'd say I want to investigate the panels, see if the panels do anything, but also with this kind of concept in mind and what my dagger told me about it is like time spent a little bit on like the Zeppelin, right, the flying machine and other bits, and has experienced like technology of a sort, right, some technology that may be reminiscent of this. And I know this is alien in a lot of ways, right, but there's still that idea where she's been connecting back to, okay, there's a power stone that's like a battery. There's a piece that is like connecting and powering bits, and it seems like it's off or dampened or or interrupted somehow. And so I was experimenting with like what functionality still might exist and how we might pull out any functionality from this room, but is also looking towards like that network, that wiring, for lack of a better term, to see if like what would be like a central power line is coming from, like something we might be able to follow in this room or out of this room to another location where maybe we can like clear up whatever the problem is.
Okay, so so first you're looking at this panel, and you've heard of panels like this. You've never actually operated one, but this is definitely what humans that manipulate the mycelium, such as you, wizards, certain powerful wizards have operate heavy machinery that is powered by the mycelium, but is also directly connected to the network itself. So it requires you to basically shove your hand into a hole.
You do it.
So you just 100%. 100%. Just shove your hand into a hole.
Let's be honest.
And it feels a little bit
like you still have bark skin.
So let me just back up. You shove your hand in the hole. The moment you do, you realize that you're dealing with not only the control panel, but the blockage that's actually gunking up the works, akin to a virus.
Cool.
And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Cool.
They have bark skin still.
It doesn't help with Constitution savings.
He does not.
Oh.
Just makes
Nope.
his AC not be able to go.
But he has wrapped it before he tapped it.
That's
okay,
true.
so the good news is that when you put your hand in there, you realize that all you're really attempting to do is to
clean it out.
To release to release a certain kind of mental latch. That's all this that's all this is really there for. But the moment you pull your hand out, you realize that something's been poisoned in you. But again, it's more of a spiritual poison.
Oh wait, is this okay? So it's not an actual poison.
It's not,
because I would get an advantage on it if it was a poison check, so because of dwarven belt.
Ooh, interesting. No, I'll allow you to roll advantage on that. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. Because you basically start to feel that Morel is turning on you.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I still roll 2 again, so
okay.
Thanks for advantages.
So
that was better, but that doesn't help me.
You start to feel like you can always feel Morel's presence around, and it's actually quite comforting. But something changes, and it instead turns into a paranoia and menacing sort of a feel. Like you're constantly looking over your shoulder, and she's not present yet. But
yeah, so I kind of start communicating. It's like, okay, I think I know what needs to be done, but I'm definitely, it's fucking with me.
Oh, and as you're saying that, basically there is a loud kind of grinding movement, and as that loud grinding movement is basically it's essentially opening up the panel.
Cool.
And both towards the top of the room, from the panel towards the top of the room, and then also to the side, and it actually slides out the weirdest sort of like fungal living throne that you've seen ever.
Ooh.
And all of these thrones have all these little weird suction cups all over it, all over like the arm of the chair and the seat, the back of the head, and there's even these two kind of like weird tendrils that kind of hang right up towards like the head back.
Those totally go in your nose.
Can I sit in the chair, guys?
You sit in the chair.
I sit in the chair.
So Kath, you sit in the chair, and then suddenly, like, it's almost like a magnetic pole where it just and the tendrils kind of like twirl around your ear.
Gross.
They don't actually like insert into your ear yet, but they just give you kind of the wettest willy.
Okay.
You know.
You guys hear me go, this isn't fun anymore, guys.
Time goes, what did you expect?
And you can't hear them anymore.
Okay.
You're completely connected to this entire structure. Mm-hmm. You're very much way more aware of the areas that you've been in already. So you kind of stretch out your senses to the biodome. Mm-hmm. You stretch out your senses to the two biolocks.
Do I get the sense because it's because I've already been there, or it's because we've already cleared it partially?
That you've already been there.
Okay.
You can start to like weirdly map out the rest of the area, but it has this sort of weird fog of war that you can't quite see through.
It doesn't make a bit of sense to me because I've been mushroom walking in this area and been able to like feel it. Like,
well, you're not really sure. Okay. You might be able to, navigate this a little bit more fluidly because of your listening skills, maybe.
Okay.
See if you can feel us.
Can I feel my friends, the
Absolutely.
room we're in? Like I can feel the people specifically.
Oh yeah.
So then if I
every
reach
step
out,
they take, it's sort of like triggering like a different nervous system for you right now.
So do I feel anybody else in this structure?
The moment you reach out, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
God damn it.
Because the short answer is absolutely.
Absolutely.
Do you feel it?
Why would you
an asshole in that area?
Ask dumb questions, get dumb answers.
I was more like, where did the Rock Queen go so we can fucking kill her? Was more what I was thinking.
It's more like I want a nap first, but that's fine.
What was I making again?
Wisdom save.
Did you already use your inspiration?
10
I
there,
did
right?
not. That is
This might be a great time to do that.
Oh, that's it. I thought that was an 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my inspiration. 19 plus a lot. Or
Plus
not
a
a
lot.
lot, but an amount. A decent
An amount.
So not only do you do you sense the Rock Queen still within the vicinity, but you also it appears as though she's in 4 separate places at once.
Are any of them close to us? Like as in immediate danger close?
Immediate danger, no.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do I feel any Blobtar's immediate danger close to us?
No.
They popped.
Okay.
However, you do feel that there are more in here, just not close.
Okay. Like I know there's more here. Right. Can I disengage from the chair?
That's a good question.
You want?
Okay, Siri,
Make
sign
a
up.
charisma saving throw.
Christmas real bad, guys.
But you're so charismatic.
Right, we'll pull you forcefully from the chair, which will that's
That's
the definition of
cock.
cock. Yay!
13.
Oh.
Okay.
Total?
Yeah. Oh, actually 12 total.
-1?
Yeah.
Look.
I told you guys my charisma is shit.
Yeah.
So, from your perspective, Keth's eyes roll back into normal vision.
Mm-hmm.
The blurry kind of coalesces into your friend standing over you, concerned /,
Time's poking you,
curious.
probably.
Yeah, with a stick.
Yeah.
And
Science stick.
And you, you come back out of it. You come into it, and your immediate reaction is to jump out of the chair.
Oh yeah, that was like really uncomfortable, to say the least. Like, it was a very strange feeling. Basically, I'll jump out of the chair, and I'm going to tell you guys, like, we're not in immediate danger in this room. Like, the Rock Queen is somehow... I'm going to explain what I felt and how I could feel kind of the whole space, right? Mm-hmm. And how I could feel the space we've been in. There's the Rock Queen's in 4 places somehow, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but we're not in immediate danger from her, and we're not in immediate danger from any Blobtars. And I think that this room that we're in is a good room to at least see if we can rest for a bit and, like, lick our wounds and see, like, basically, I think we can try for a long rest here, maybe, but at least a short rest.
Do you think
in outside of character talk?
Do we want to give her, that much time to recover? Or if we give ourselves a short rest and we can maybe, like, pin her down?
I'm down. Short rest, I'll get everything back, so I'm cool with that.
I will take a knowledge history check from you. I will take a knowledge history check from Ferg.
18.
21.
So
real smart.
I will say that you both independently come to a a thought of, like, seeing this chair. It reminds you of things that you've read and things that you've sort of discussed with other dwarves as you've been growing up. The ancient sky citadels that the dwarves had. Like, originally there were 5 of them.
This is a captain's chair.
Okay, hold on a second. There were originally 5 of them, right? And people described the control chair to be like this, although certain kind of departments or certain areas in the ship that were responsible for different procedures and responsibilities, they had similar chairs as well. Mm-hmm. So at first glance, it's like, oh, wow, is this, holy shit, like, this is how we, like, fly this fucking citadel? That's the first thought that you kind of have.
Mm-hmm.
And same. Do
they say this out loud?
Same to you. Well, that's up to you too. Again, you came to this separately.
I'm gonna go up closer to the chair and be like, "Is this?" And then using context from the room and what I've been looking at, with my knowledge of the dwarven citadels, can I piece together what specifically kind of control room this is?
Make a. Yeah, I'll just take another history check.
16.
Definitely not. This is definitely not the pilot room.
Okay.
This.
I just sort of turn toward Ferg and shake my head.
Main engineering, maybe.
Ferg is just like, this is the captain's chair.
This is actually. This was reminding you of, like, an engineering deck of a kind. Mm-hmm. You keep looking at that, like, circular table with the metal lip, and what the fuck is that for? And
a map.
And I don't know, like, you're
status.
You're just left with, like, what can we do with this?
Mm-hmm.
That question. And on that note, we will be taking our first break.
And I'll be taking off, but I'll tell you some things that Time might want to do while I'm gone.
Yeah. So actually, why don't you share that before we sign out? Well, for a break, rather.
Cool. Time wants to sit in the chair. Get better.
Sorry, if it killed us, I was just like, let's kill my character.
I've got better charisma than you.
I call dwarf dibs. You already have the special dwarf dagger
and everything. You don't get a citadel. Anyway, so I want to sit in the chair and I want to kind of ask those same questions that I was doing before in terms of, like, the power and, like, because we feel like I cleared up this blockage a little bit, but there's, like, probably, like, we've seen evidence of issues. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm kind of doing almost like a diagnostics, especially if it's being shared. This is more of an engineering piece. Like, I'm trying to connect with that. Yeah. And I feel like an element of me connecting with the mycelium that I've done before, like, may help with that. I mean, this is an alien system. It's kind of like I'm used to navigating the arcane channels, perhaps. A little bit.
You're used to opposite parts.
Yeah, right. So it'll be weird. But that's my goal, is looking for that to see how we can kind of block this up. Definitely need a rest. I mean, kind of wants to connect to that and see what we can, like, turn on and off, basically. Mm-hmm. But, like, advocating that we take a short rest and, like, go find the Rock Queen. Or do whatever.
Apparently there's 4. Apparently she's in 4 places at once.
Okay. So
there may be more of those nodes we have to kill.
That's what I'm thinking.
So that's what you want to do. Or sorry, you can't.
Yeah,
join
for
us
sure.
further.
Yeah, no worries.
So anyway, we will see you in a little bit. We're going to take about 10-15 minute break, and we'll be back shortly.
Stay classy.
Make yourself some tea.